pairwise master keys of the clients. And those of you who have experience, say, in wireless hacking or WPA hacking, know what a pairwise master key is. It's the crypto material used for the
it's the basic
for the clients. And once we get those, which are in turn encrypted by the CTKs, it's game over.
Yep.
So getting the CTK is the crucial part in it.
So.
And the CTK again is the one that is.
No,
just to finish it in a.
Yeah. This is CTK. Yep. No, just a little bit above.
Okay.
Yeah. The last line of hex code. This is the actual CT key, which is just derived between these two devices, and just take the encrypted data, just decrypt it. That's all. And now you also can take part in that whole infrastructure, and you know the infrastructure authentication password. So you can do this infrastructure authentication process by yourself, by your own hacking tool, and all that stuff. So it's open now for every purpose you want to.
Okay. So to summarize this up a bit, I mean, besides the crypto details, and we believe us, we saved you from much of the stuff. We only give a tip of an iceberg. Besides this, it turns out, again, in the intro I said it's about discussing protocol design, and it turns out, as Ollie said, build a house in sand. Build an extra key generation on a supposedly insecure authentication mechanism that in the overall doesn't work. So far for the for the Swan Vault, for completeness sake, there has been a more or less exciting attack against the WLSEs, where they had hard-coded usernames that couldn't be disabled. I mean, that's back in 2004. But just think about it. Even in 2004, deploying devices with hard-coded usernames, not changeable, full admin access, not this, no workarounds. I mean, this shows how kind of broken this world of solutions is. But we have a second part that we will go through a bit faster, I think. I have no idea of the time, but people coming in gives a sign that other talks might be finished. So we are certainly good with 10 to 15 minutes. This is maybe simple, maybe not so simple overview of the whole picture in the latest generation, Cisco Unified Wireless Network. The interesting points here are there is wireless LAN controllers. Those are the devices deploying, say, configurations to access points. And there is, oh, wait, no, I mixed up the first one is the management entity, which was the WLSE in the old world. And now those devices are the LAN controllers pushing config details to the access points, which now, in this generation, this world, the access points are dumb. They are no more autonomous as they have been before. Again, we try to figure out what can be wrong in this world. Is there any security vulnerabilities? And I mean, firing up a simple sniffer, simply firing up Wireshark gave us the first surprise. I mean, what is this? What we saw is syslog data sent to a broadcast address. I mean, how crazy is this? And this gives, besides being funny a bit, this gives an idea how immature to some degree all this stuff is. I mean, stuff like this shouldn't be present in high-level network equipment sold in 2009. And we'll see more of this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a question. I mean, it is configurable, but this is the default state. Still, it's yeah, I mean, how crazy is this even default state to broadcast syslog messages? Sorry? Yeah. I did not repeat the questions. Hopefully you don't mind me. I'll do my best in the future. Again, we started looking at it, trying to understand what happens, and it turns out the main protocol is one that is called CAPWAP, which is kind of based on DTLS, that is essentially a UDP-based TLS, and all security-relevant data is encrypted and authenticated, which brings up questions. Okay, read the RFCs. This is something that Daniel likes to do, like other people read, say, comics or novels. He reads RFCs. Then again, some funny stuff turned up. Look at this. In the main RFC on CAPWAP, there is, say, the order when CAPWAP is run over IPv4, UDP checksumming should essentially disabled set to 3. I mean, given we are networkers, who needs annoying stuff like checksums anyway? Yeah, this again gives an idea of the maturity of this world of solutions at the current point. Following up on CAPWAP, we try to figure out, okay, there's 3 questions at the time.
5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, no questions, but 5 minutes is sufficient, but here's the question.
More of an observation about the last slide. UDP transport is unreliable, and you're basically calling out and saying that checksums on unreliable transport is something that you should be concerned about.
Yeah. Thanks for the comment. The comment was that, UDP is unreliable by nature, so checksums might have a function, and calling for disabling checksums on an unreliable transport protocol might be calling for trouble. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, so CAPWAP, we try to figure out, okay, what's the cryptocode, what's the algorithms, is there any known vulnerabilities in the cryptocode, what about the certificates, where do they come from, and all this stuff. And we did not yet have the opportunity to dig very deeply into this. So we feel there is more skeletons in the closet that we are discussing in the next slides. First thing was, okay, someone got to know it's OpenSSL included. We thought, okay, which OpenSSL? And then figuring out, OpenSSL is covered by an Apache license. But we still approach Cisco like, okay, are there any parts in your code that are GPL? If so, please provide those parts, which they denied, like, oh no, there's no code in it, which is GPL. And we ported back OpenSSL in 2003, and at the time, our legal team reviewed the license, and we don't have to give out any code. 097B has vulnerabilities, but this is on a certain processing platform, so they might not be present or not be exploitable too well. We could not follow up on this too much. As for the certificates, Cisco does a, we think, clever thing here. That is supplying the devices with a certificate that is already present by the manufacturing process, by a known manufacturing CA, which overall is a good approach. In the end of the day, it means that all devices disposing of such a cert are trusted by their peers anyway. So imagine cases like plugging off an AP, putting in a WLC that was acquired on eBay, which has a configuration option like disable all encryption, and this device is trusted as it disposes of the Cisco cert. Again, there should be more stuff to be found in this space. Finally, what we did to some extent was have a look at the management interfaces of the stuff, and that is essentially HTTPS and our old friend SNMP. You know that, or some of you might recall that in most talks we somehow mention SNMP at some point. And it turned out WCS has, I mean, after 15 minutes, a guy from our team, Simon, who's mainly performing web application pen testing, came up with this one. It's blacked out. It's it's part of a disclosure process at the very moment. But again, it was found after 15 minutes, fiddling with, with some tools. I won't mention this, not to give out details. But there will be more, and I mean, this is management, this is high-end equipment that costs a lot of bucks, and stuff like this shouldn't be present in 2009 or 2010. As for SNMP, it turned out there's lots of stuff that is readable. I mean, it's per default private and public, and those of you who say that shouldn't be the case are certainly right. Still, we can tell you, in deployments we have seen, public and private is present, as people are happy to get overall stuff running, and they don't care of SNMP communication which is needed between the WCS and the WLC. There is kinds of interesting stuff that can be found, get the release numbers out, identifies IPs, all kinds of strange named key stuff that has to be investigated further on. What is funny, maybe strange, certainly, is they store all the syslog messages generated by devices into the SNMP tree. I have no idea why they do this. This is not, say, sample messages to be generated. It's the real actual messages. So you have tons of syslog messages in the SNMP database. That is, again, there will be some explanation for that. We couldn't figure out any. There is some heritage from the airspace vault that is, at the first glance, this looked very interesting, as it means there is a piece within SNMP that stores the community names. So having read access to that one might be able to reveal the right community. We tried to exploit this. It didn't work. We think there was some use we were not aware of. But again, putting SNMP configuration into SNMP itself in a recreate OID, this is heritage kind of stuff. So what was interesting is there was username and passwords for the local administrators of some entities. Unfortunately, the passwords are obfuscated, so we couldn't modify or get them out or write them. But hey, I mean, why reset a password of an existing user if you can add new admin users with a given name and a given password? And this is the last demo for today. Daniel is going to provide. For time reasons, we will just perform the demo. We have, since 3 years, we have a tool that has evolved over time called SNMP Attack, available at our website. You should be able to find the link. It's not offensively linked due to German laws and stuff, but so what it does is there is an option in it that updates, gives a new user on the WLC that is provided by the, say, attacker, which is nice, again. So what are conclusions? Conclusions are those solutions overall are complex beasts. Be aware that there might be some obvious, as we showed, or not so obvious security vulnerabilities in them. Getting back to what Bruce said in his yesterday opening remarks is, use common sense when deploying. That means, obviously, we have a white paper put together on stuff like this, which will be released together with the code, where all the basic rules are in there. Take care of SNMP, take care of segregation, all this stuff. But the message we want to give you is that this is not only specific to Cisco or to WLAN enterprise solutions. Stuff like this can be found in voice over